How's it going, everyone? It's Caleb Lumity here, and today we are going to be doing the grand finale of PlayStation Month. I have talked about PlayStation games all month, and this is the grand finale. And I wanted to end with a banger. I wanted to end with something that I actually liked. I wanted to end with something that is nostalgic for a lot of people, and something that is really just a great gem of a game. Something that everybody loves when they go back and play PlayStation, and something that is just iconic for the PlayStation 1. So today, we're going to be talking about Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal is a vehicle combat game, and it is amazing. The whole thing with Twisted Metal is you get to pick a car. You have quite a few different characters that you can play as, and each one has their own car, and you basically go through a tournament. And as you play through the tournament, it will get increasingly difficult. And you will eventually come across the last year's winner of Twisted Metal, and you will have a final boss fight. This game is a lot of fun. I love the tournament mode, and I love the charisma that this game has. It is over-the-top ridiculous. The driving it takes a bit to get used to since it's a little bit older now, but it's still really, really good. And I just realized, by the way, this game came out in 1995, so this game is now 30 years old, which is just crazy to think about. But this game has so much charisma. All the vehicles are very different from each other. They all have their own unique special ability that they can use. One of my favorites is that there's a monster truck and it can just drive over the other cars, and that's its special ability. I absolutely love that one. And you have a lot of very popular characters that are remembered very fondly, like Sweet Tooth, probably the most popular video game mascot for Twisted Metal. I mean, everyone knows Sweet Tooth. Everyone loves Sweet Tooth. Samoa Joe is Sweet Tooth. If you know who Samoa Joe is, shout out Samoa Joe. He's awesome. But I love the character design for Sweet Tooth. I love the vehicle design for these characters. There's the character Outlaw, who is literally driving like a police vehicle that's just decked out with guns. There's a whole lot of cool cars in this, and I love trying them all out and seeing which ones work the best. And it seems like I do best personally with the monster truck. I feel like that's probably the one I'm best with. You know, I'm not great with one of the characters whose name is Darkseid. I like Darkseid. I think he is an awesome character, and I absolutely love his semi-truck. But I'm just terrible with that character. I'm not good with him. I do like Pit Viper as well. That is a really cool car. It's like a dune buggy, and it launches like some sort of like toxic looking waste out of the front of it, and it's pretty cool, and I really like that one as well. The one that I'm probably the best with is definitely the monster truck Hammerhead. I like him a lot, and I like that his ability is basically automatic. Like, a lot of times you have to swap to the other abilities. You know, like, you have your main weapon, which is your machine gun, but then you also have your secondary weapon, which are just weapons that you find along each of the maps. And you can pick up rockets. You can pick up rockets that launch backwards to hit opponents from behind that are behind you. You can pick up mines. You can pick up all sorts of just different stuff. And you can pick up your special abilities. And I just like that Hammerhead specifically can just run over other vehicles. Like, that's his specialty, and it doesn't require you to press any button. You can just basically drive over them at any time, and I love that. I do like Warthog as well. I think that's a really fun one. I love just using the Humvee and going around and going crazy with it. I've noticed that with the Humvee, whenever I hit somebody with it, it does a lot of damage. Like, and that's not even like his specialty. His specialty is like he launches like 3 missiles out at one time. But man, I was running into people with Warthog, and I was just doing a massive amount of damage. So, I don't know. I feel like Warthog actually he's up there for my best character, the character that I'm best with. Hammerhead and Warthog, those two are the top for me. I love those two, and I think that they are great. So, there's that. But this game still is really fun. I do like it quite a bit. It performs pretty well. The only issue that it really struggles with in terms of performance these days is the pop-up. You will definitely notice some pop-up, especially on some of the later maps. But that's going to be like the main issue that you notice. I don't really think that there's a whole lot of gameplay issues. It takes a bit to get used to, and I will say, if you are trying to drive forward, I think it's best to just, when you're using the standard controller layout, just hold square and use square as your accelerate button. Trying to just use the D-pad only, I don't think personally feels right. And it feels like the vehicle doesn't want to always start up and go immediately if you're doing it that way. So use the square button as your forward and use the circle as your back. That's how I recommend driving, because I just find that to be the best way to be able to control your car and make sure that your car is actually driving forward. Because for some reason the D-pad, it seems to have a bit of a delay whenever you want to go forward if you're trying to use that as your accelerate. That's just something that I noticed. The actual course design, I love. I love the different locations that you have in this. I love the one that has a little river and has a bridge like over the river. I like that one a lot. The river's not very deep. You can actually drive in it. I like the final level that is just a giant skyscraper. I will say it's very frustrating when you accidentally drive off the edge though, but I still like it. There's one that's literally just a suburban neighborhood. That one is also really fun, and I really like that one a lot as well. Just there's not a single bad map in this entire game. All of the maps are great. So that is something that is pretty rare, honestly. There's not a single one that I look at and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I love every single map, which is great because that means whenever I go back and I play through the tournament mode, I'm fine with playing all those maps all over again. In terms of its graphics, it is a PlayStation 1 game in all its pixelated glory. In all its beautiful octagon glory. In all it's dated. It's a dated game, okay? But look, if you like PlayStation 1, it's not going to bother you one bit. It still looks great. You can tell what everything is. There's no issue in terms of trying to figure out what's what and getting around the courses. All of that stuff is very, very easy to tell what it is. So the courses look great for a PlayStation 1 game. The vehicles look great. You can tell what everything is. And honestly, even with the graphics, even though they're dated, they were able to fit so much personality into each one of these cars. It's honestly just amazing what they did with this game. This is a fantastic game. I can't recommend Twisted Metal enough. I love this game. I think it is phenomenal, and it definitely is it's at least in my top 25 PlayStation 1 games of all time. It's up there. I really do like it. I'm not sure if it quite breaks the top 10 because I have a lot of ones I'm nostalgic for and I didn't grow up playing this one, but I'll put it this way. This is one of the best games I played on the PlayStation 1 that I did not play as a kid. This is a phenomenal game. I love it, and I'm very happy to have this in my collection. And I think that if you are a PlayStation 1 collector and a PlayStation 1 fan, and if you love games that have cars in them, and if you love Demolition Derby style games, this is something that you need to have in your collection. It is amazing. It is fantastic. And it really is the godfather of all combat vehicle games. So go check out Twisted Metal on the PlayStation 1. And I believe you can play it and actually digitally as well on some systems. So if you can play it digitally on the PS3 or something like that, I think the PS3 store is still up, right? That'd be sad if it isn't, but I'm pretty sure it still is. If you can pick it up on there, do it that way too. But the game is not very expensive, actually. So you can still find this game for a pretty fair price. If you find it for around $10, I think that's a fair price. Honestly, going up to even $20 on this game, I think that still is fine. I wouldn't go more than that, but still, if you can find it for 20 or less, I think it's worth picking up. So go check out Twisted Metal, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.